Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Real Stories. I'm your host, Jordan Silvester, and today we've got Chris Hanna.
Hey, Jordan.
Hey, buddy. He's the CEO of All In Content, and we're actually going to chat about content today.
Let's talk about content.
So, you have been doing content for how long now?
So I first started creating content in 2018. My whole goal when I was in the corporate world was to speak on stages. I would talk to different people, and they said, you have to be creating content in order to get on these stages to actually do what I love to do and speak. And so that's what I started doing. I started with blogs. Those blogs eventually became doing podcasts. Those podcasts became videos, and it's been doing it ever since.
And then just birthed into All In Content.
It's crazy, actually, how that happened, because I did not expect to be creating a video production company and studio and everything, right? But like, I started creating content for myself. I started batch creating it. And then, over time, I switched, different jobs and careers, and eventually bet on myself. Had this hiring company, which we talked about in another episode. And then a roofer saw my content, and they said, "Hey, could you come and record me?" And I was like, "I've never recorded anybody before. Like, I don't know how I would do that, what I would do. I just know what worked for me."
Right.
And so I literally, armed with a cell phone, took a cell phone, and for listeners, they're not going to see that I'm holding a cell phone. But I went up on a roof for 3 days in Kitchener-Waterloo and held a cell phone and asked the person questions. I bought cheap little $10 mics that you could get on Amazon that literally like fell off, and we did like an hour search trying to find where they were on the property. And it became this thing where it's like, man, I like recording other people. That's pretty cool. And then other people saw it, and then it became this business. And excited to say, obviously it's grown to what it is now, and with employees and staff and a studio. And today I'm getting blown up for some reason with people who want to book stuff for January. So it's really, really cool.
That's awesome, man. And so you're a big proponent of content.
Video in particular.
Why?
I think video is the best way to share who you are, what you do, why you do it. It's so much better than something that you can just scroll past, like an image, right? Now, you could post a personal photo of yourself. That might do really well. But like something that's static that you make in Canva, they look so templated and they don't jump off the page. But a video can really help you. Like here we are on a video podcast.
Yep.
People can know more about you because they understand what you stand for. They learn a lot watching this. They learn about your values. They learn about the guests that you have. People recognize you. I was at an event last night with my wife, and my wife doesn't like to come to the networking events, but she came to one. And someone came up and they said, "Hey, Chris, I follow you on LinkedIn." And my wife looked at me and she's like, "Another person who somehow knows you." And they felt like they did know me. Right. I was able to have a conversation together with this person's husband as well for an hour last night as a result of video. That's why I'm a believer in it, because they see me and it already sells them on why to work together, because we've built that connection over something visual.
Yeah, I tend to be very much I prefer face-to-face contact. And so the benefit of video is, again, I read body language. So whenever I'm watching video, you can read the body language of the person still to some extent. It's not as perfect as real life, but it's so much better than trying to understand tone. And again, from a static post where it's just words, you're like, okay, what are they saying? Whereas in a video, you get what they're saying.
Well, in your world, you have people who will call you all the time, right?
Yep.
And so you're living on your phone too. And people call me. I'm like, can we switch this to in person or to a video? Because I really don't want to just listen all the time.
Right.
And so I just find it just helps me understand that you're right. The body language, it could be the poker player in me too. Whereas I like to read a person in a situation to understand how they're feeling and what's going on, right?
Yep.
I think visually seeing it just helps. And I'm a visual learner.
Right.
And I didn't really learn that about myself until, I'd say over these last few years, even though I'm the same age as you. We're going to be 42 next year.
I know.
Which is wild. So it is crazy to think. But yeah, the visual side of it's vital.
Yeah, I sit back and I remember when I first saw you, you were actually doing content on a golf course, and I ran into you there. And at that point, my social media presence was posts. All I did was post where I would be at Cramden's for my birthday. That was my favorite post. I still make that same post, but it's more elaborate now.
That's right. Yeah, and again, I was doing content at a golf course, and I had upgraded a little bit. I still had a cell phone I was recording on, but I had bought a gimbal for it. And trying to capture some of that. And I remember I said to the company that I was with there at the time, recording with them, I said, "Oh, this is a real estate event. I wonder if my real estate agent would be there." And then literally within 2 seconds, you were there. And I was like, that's the guy who sold me a house. I haven't heard from him since I bought the house, but that's that guy.
Right.
I'm like, I'll just go up and introduce myself or whatever. And then we started chatting. Who knew? Became started so much more closer as friends over these last couple of years. It's wild.
Yeah, we've been to Vegas together. We've done all kinds of fun things.
Absolutely.
So in the original stuff, as you say, growing, right? So when we started working together, you always drove everywhere. Every day was jump in the car, load it up, meet at a location, sometimes go to multiple locations. When you think back to all of that, when you first were getting started, what do you see as the best part about studio versus? Like, what do you prefer?
I now prefer the studio experience because you can control the variables, right? You can control sound somewhat, you can control the lighting. Lighting's a big one. Whereas when I would go and record, and I still have a lot of my clients where I go and record. Like yesterday, I recorded for 5 hours all outside. It was cold outside.
It was cold. I actually saw that video of you. You were at Willisted?
That was the other day, actually.
Oh, that was the other day.
That was the
you
other
were outside too.
I was outside for another one. I've been recording outside the last few days, and it's frigid. And I took my coat off for that Willisted video.
Oof.
And we did a lot of takes because we could not figure out what we were going to do. But like the benefit of on location versus studio. Studio's warmer, I'll say that, but they're just controlling the variables. When you go somewhere else, someone could walk through a shot.
Yep.
Or a kid starts screaming in the background. Like I've had a lot of that you got to deal with. Yep. And the biggest thing is wind. When you're recording outside, or even when we're recording in somebody else's office, sometimes the lighting could be a little rough.
Right.
There's a client that I work with. I've worked with him for almost 3 years now. We go to their office and I record. They have to tell all their staff to be quiet. Well, the hard part is like people are calling in and clients and stuff. And so you're disrupting work, I feel like.
Right.
Whereas here, people can come in and they can obviously choose the different rooms and you're not interrupting anybody.
Right. Yeah. It's controlled environment, easy to function. I remember we were in the parking lot at Canadian Tire. So we were doing one of our updates, weekly updates with Shauna. And we're out there. And I remember somebody started talking to us while we're out there, we're in the middle of shooting in the video, and then a person just randomly wants to talk to us while we're out there.
And I remember that was when I had the big camera out there too. Yeah. It wasn't on a cell phone at that point, so it was really obvious we were recording something.
Yeah.
And the person just comes right up.
Yeah.
And
just
starts
decided
talking.
they wanted to be a part of it.
And like, oh, you just ruined that shot.
Yeah.
Like that was frustrating. I remember you were kind of thrown off by it.
Well,
yeah.
I'm like, okay, I guess we're reshooting that. I don't remember, or we edited or whatever. But definitely the benefit of being in location. Because again, we started with the other studio, which was part of the fun in building that. We thought,
I don't know if fun's the right word, but sure.
Well, because we had the studio built, everything in there, and everything working on the computers, except we could not get video to work.
That's right.
That was such an interesting experience. You're like, okay, we have cameras, they're on, but we could not get the pixelation to work. So that's when we had to upgrade.
Yeah, I found that we learned a lot through the process, right? Yes. About lighting, about sound, about, mixing different types of cameras together. We did a lot of research to kind of figure out what stuff to get. And then you find, well, this doesn't really work for what we're looking for. Or this camera overheats. Right. Or this camera is a little pixelated in the dark, but if it's really bright, it's good. But if we have this, there's so many if, there, then kind of scenarios that we had to go through.
Yep.
I would say that was a whole, I guess, just experience in troubleshooting.
Right.
And it was almost felt like if we solve one thing, there'd be something else that would come up.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on here?
Well, we fixed camera, and then I think we ran into sync issues between the timing of the conversation. So we'd be talking on the mic, and it would start to look like my mouth wasn't moving correctly.
Which and if anybody who's watching this or listening to this has ever edited video, that is probably the most annoying thing to try and fix. To try and resync up audio and visuals. Yeah.
We just edited on the Rodecaster. That was a helpful thing. Good thing that we did learn that you can edit a lot of things in real time to be able to adjust for what happens.
I would say the two biggest things that really helped are YouTube videos. Because if we've experienced it, somebody else has probably experienced it.
Exactly.
And our good friend ChatGPT also giving some troubleshooting steps.
Yeah, I even give a little bit of a shout out to Martin.
Martin was great too. Martin was able to come in.
He was able to come in and a few of the times because he worked with CBC in the past, and it's like, hey, we're running into this. You have this experience. Can you tell us what we might be doing wrong?
Even in my current studio now, I do have this other device that I do want to replace. The one main that we've been actually recording through on. But I know that when I start doing that, there's going to be troubleshooting and steps I have to go through. And it's like, do I want to break my existing setup to implement this? Yes, I do, but it's a question of when do I do it?
Right.
So it's not super disruptive as I've gotten busier.
Yeah. It's what, well, how busy are you over the Christmas holiday?
Well, we've now booked time that we are actually going away to Mexico.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. I haven't had a chance to tell you that. Yes. Yeah. We're going to Mexico again.
Beautiful.
Just decided, you know what? I think just need to
take a break from the content and enjoy some time with the wife. That's a good
right.
idea.
It's probably the smart play of a lot of realms.
Yeah.
So screw it. Let's just do it.
Good. Yeah. So you're going to be away a bit. That's awesome.
Away for a bit. So
okay.
Not as long as we've done other times, but still just away.
Yeah.
Never flown on a major holiday before, so we're flying on Christmas Eve.
Oh.
So I'm curious how that's going to go. Some people have said it's going to be a nightmare flying. Some people said it's going to be easy.
Because everybody would already want to be places.
They would usually be there the day or two before.
Right.
It's a direct flight. Delta's great. I'm hoping it's all good.
Awesome.
Knock on fake wood.
Knock on fake wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, when I think to all the content and the different things, and that's another good point, though. It's like, when do you really get a chance, because you have clients who have expectations, you're always kind of running. What for anybody who's out there thinking about, like, not they want to be a part of the content like me, but actually like the business side of the content world, what do you say to them?
You're talking like other people who maybe want to create agencies, you mean?
Yeah, agencies or
someone just managing social media and
doing
stuff?
Those types of things. Like, when you think about content from that side of the perspective, right? Like, you're just saying, oh man, I'm gonna get a chance to get away for a little bit of time.
Yeah, it is all consuming when you're trying to run a business in this space, especially because I've got a lot of different clients across a lot of different industries. The hard part, and I think this is for almost any business, not just content, is every client wants to feel like they're the number one client.
Right.
And so how do you try and balance it all and trying to get all the requests done? You know, you were recording content just a little bit before this, you know, with Brooklyn from our team, who's behind the desk.
She's behind the desk.
Technically, if she wanted to, she could turn her camera on, but I don't think she wants to do that. But, you know, you were recording and I was in the other room. While I'm in the other room, I'm getting text messages and emails. I had to turn my phone off because other clients are asking for stuff that they want to go out. So it's a balancing act, and it's really tough to do. And that's where you know this about me. For the longest time, I wanted to be a solopreneur. I wanted to do everything myself.
Yep.
And you get to a certain point where it's like, it's impossible to give the best level of customer service doing it all on your own.
Well, unless you decide to just limit the number of people you work with. So your options are grow, or this is max.
Yeah.
And this is...
So in recent weeks, I've had to tell some people, it's like, you know what, like, I know you want me to start managing, you know, your content or social media. I want to wait till the new year. I don't want to start in December. I think December's a weird month. Last 2 weeks is kind of a write-off. And people are kind of getting upset. And I'm like, no, it makes no sense. And I'm like, well, I have to then bring on more people in order to start to make this all work.
Right.
The hard part for me, and maybe a lot of other people are like this, is when you can do a lot of the stuff yourself, it's hard to then pass to somebody else and say, hey, well, why don't you be behind the desk and you produce this episode, or you edit this, or you make these changes to the website, or can you post this on social media?
Right.
It's hard to let go.
Yeah. Well, because...
I'm sure, and you found that too in your career.
Well, yeah, because anytime... The problem fundamental is to teach somebody takes so much time. It's no different. I'll say it this way. So again, I'm a realtor, so when we write offers... So we used to use something called DocuSign, and you could set a template so that every time I populated an offer in there, it would automatically put all the signatures there. I never did it. Now, graciously, we use AuthentiSign through Oria, like through Korea or whatever, and it auto does that now, so that all the signatures there. But I just kept doing it over and over again myself, because I found it, instead of taking a minute and doing 30 or 45 minutes probably to set the template permanently, I wasted 3 to 5 minutes, couldn't tell you how many times, right? Yeah. Just by putting that in. And I think the same idea is, it's so hard in business sometimes to slow down, add something. And again, a person is harder because you have to train them, coach them. And right now, yes, you're going to do it faster and better than they can. But if you train them well, you coach them well and give them time, they'll be able to at least do it at a level that is comparable to what you're capable of. And again, in that, now you've been able to buy back time. The question is you need the time to buy back. Sure. And that's where I think, as any business owner, it's always like you get in this struggle of, okay, I want to grow, but I don't want to stop. And the issue is to grow, you usually have to step. They always say 1 step backwards and 2 steps forward. Yeah. And I think so often it's hard because it's so hard to give up on where you're at, because you're like, I don't want to step backwards. But I think if you want to grow in business, the only way is to take a step back, reestablish, verify what you're capable of doing, and then add the right people, spend the right amount of quality time training those people so that you get to where you're going.
Yeah, so like I did interviews earlier this week, and I was like torn between two, and so I've kind of just solidified in the last half an hour. I'm like, okay, let's bring this one person on. They'll start Monday. But this other person also could be really good from a different perspective. And so like, do I bring on two people at once? Does that make sense? Or should I just bring on the one or not? I've decided for now to bring on the one, but the other one I still might bring on.
Right.
Just in a different capacity, but I want to make sure it's a good onboarding experience for them.
Right.
How do I make sure I give them the time that they need so that they're trained properly? Because I've gone through that mistake too, where I've brought somebody on and not trained them to the extent that they needed to.
Yep.
And then it's more painful for me, and then I feel like I have to step in.
What if you made a bunch of videos that would train them?
Oh, I wonder who could create videos. Absolutely.
A content where you have like your own personal YouTube channel for all the things that could go wrong or do go wrong.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I think part of the challenge, which I will say this on camera, which is kind of related to it, part of the issue that I've had in recent months, especially, is that I've said yes to certain projects that I probably should have said no to as well.
Sure.
That's some advice that I would give anybody who's like creating a business, is to be mindful of what you do.
Yeah.
You know, in February of 2024, we went to Vegas. We went and saw Tony Robbins speak. The theme was focus. I focused hardcore. But then over the last, I'd say 6 months, I've kind of been distracted by other things. And I say yes to them only to regret it.
Right.
But this role that I've hired now is to help take care of some of that distraction stuff so I can still focus on what I do best.
Well, and again, it also gives you this great opportunity to help your clients that are asking you. See, the reason why we ask you as your clients is because generally we're like, well, who can do this? And we're like, well, Chris probably can, or at least Chris knows somebody that can.
Right.
And then Chris goes, well, maybe I can do that.
Yeah.
And Chris is like, shouldn't have figured I could do it.
You said something to me that was really, really profound that you will not remember saying to me, but you can take credit for it. And I'm going to give you credit. So it was about a year and a half ago. You and I are having a conversation. Like we usually just like have some business convos and stuff.
Yep.
And you said, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something. And you said that, and I can't remember where we were, but I remember that conversation. And I've repeated it to other people and giving advice. And I need to take it myself, I've realized. I shouldn't do everything. And so it's finding the right right person that can help.
Yep.
And yes, it's going to be tricky. And yes, next week is actually loaded full of lots of stuff I need to do. But I have to bring somebody on. I can't wait. Because I thought I could just wait to the new year. But waiting to the new year also is a disservice to my clients who are looking for stuff to be done.
Right.
And I also was like, happy wife, happy life. I can't be working all the time. Right. Last Friday, I worked till 3 o'clock in the morning. The next day, my wife says to me, I feel bad that you're working so much. I understand why you're trying to do it, but like, it's so much that you're doing. And so she appreciates that I'm trying to do this for us and you know, whatever. But I also think I'm doing her a disservice if I'm working all the time. So I have to find better balance. So it means I need a who.
Yep. Yeah, you need to add people. And I think for any business owner out there and content creator and anybody, when you're out in this world trying to accomplish all these things, as a realtor, the hardest thing I had to figure out was time balance, because client would call and I'm in the middle of like some family event. It's like, well, you know, I'm not really doing anything other than sitting around so I can go show that house. It's like, no, you can't. Not if you want a happy family and you want to spend the right time. So learning to prioritize things in the correct manner, and never, again, most clients, if you were to be honest with them, wouldn't think that, you know, spending time with your family is a bad thing. They'd actually be respectful. Some wouldn't be. Then maybe you should consider whether or not those should be clients of yours. That's
an interesting kind of thing to talk about as well, though, is like deciding like which clients to work with or not. Like I've had some clients that I've said, you know, I need to part ways with because I just don't think there's a culture fit. Sometimes I've just said no to projects as well because I'm realizing that's not for me.
Right.
And so I've had in recent months, as I've realized I'm probably doing too many things, people come to me and say, hey, can you do this type of video or content? And I'm like, you know what? I don't think I'm the best person for you.
Right.
Last thing I want to do is something that I'm not going to leave like a good taste in your mouth, that you're going to be disappointed in, or that I know is too, I'm going to call it unprofitable.
Fair.
Right. And that's hard to do because when you start a business, you know, I started all in content now, I don't know how long ago, 3 or 4 years ago, it feels like I said yes to everything.
Right.
But should I have said yes? Probably not, but I had to get the experience. But now I'm very selective in what I say and do.
Yeah, because you've been able to hone in on what you want to do. You've been able to verify what's profitable for the business. Because again, if it's not profitable for you, you're not going to stay in business, which means even though you want to do all these great things for other people, if it's not going to actually produce the income, you're not going to be in business very long. Nobody can stay in business if they're running a negative.
Yeah, and I think that's been a big lesson that I think I've learned as well is like, okay, how much does it cost to fulfill? Because I thought, okay, you know what? If and you laugh because we've had a lot of convos
Yes,
on
we
this,
have.
but it's like, I don't think the general public understands what goes into content creation and how much work there is actually to it.
Well, I don't fully understand it. I have an idea, but I still don't think I get it.
Right. So if we and I don't know how long this will go today, but if
Yeah.
we did an hour of content
Right.
and we recorded a 1 hour episode, it's going to be 5 to 6 hours of just editing, tweaking, adjusting, uploading to all the different directories, building thumbnails, at least coming up with social media snippets, captioning it. I'd say 5 and 6 is the low end.
Right.
And so all the people all the time, I literally got an email from somebody who's like, how much is going to take to do a 15-second commercial to put on CTV? That's what somebody emailed me an hour or two ago.
Wow.
And I'm like, yeah, to go and do a commercial, 15 seconds, I can't give you a quote on that until I know what we're talking about.
Right.
Because there's so much that goes into it.
Yeah.
And
Well,
like people don't
interesting.
understand from a podcast. There's so much that happens.
Yeah, like when I sit down, if you were to, go ahead, ask me what I think goes into it.
Yeah, what do you think all goes into what? A podcast episode or a short form video?
Well, either. So again, when I think about it, and it's hard because again, as somebody who pays for this, one of the things I try to verify is value, right?
Yeah.
And so the problem is, as a realtor, I get it too, right? We get asked similar questions. It's like, so for me, I'm like, okay, so we're in this office, we're going to spend an hour, let's say, in this room. And so there's of course time and need expense here. But the problem isn't this, and we've talked about that a bunch, which is, okay, so it's the editing, it's the re-editing, it's the if there's a glitch within the system. So even if we do a perfect podcast, but there's an error somewhere and you have to fix it, right? And all these other things that I don't ever consider. So in my brain process, all it usually thinks it's like, okay, you rewatch the episode, you add the beginning, you add the little come on into the thing and the little bit of an ending and the whole stuff, you post it to 3 places and you took a picture and you cut that, drop it in a couple spots and type a few things. That's what my brain realized. Like,
Right.
It's something in my head. I'm like, it's simple in some respect, but I don't realize how much time it would take.
Right.
Because I don't realize on each place you do it, on each thing you have to have it, and each edit is a little bit different. So,
Well, and then
what is it that goes in?
Well, yes. So you're gonna record.
Yeah.
Right. Let's back it up. So
Okay.
even before recording, we're trying to coordinate a date
Yep.
and time and guests,
Yep.
setting up all the cameras.
Yep.
So Brooklyn doesn't have a mic here, but when Brooklyn came in this morning, what do we do? We're setting up the cameras, we're adjusting the angles, we're adjusting the lights. That takes time.
Yep.
Then you record for an hour. Okay, let's call it an hour just for easy math.
Yep.
Then we got to take that footage and review it. Now we've got 3 cameras on us right now, right? 1, 2, 3.
So that's 3 hours.
Now there's software that can overlay and you can kind of select all the way through. So yes, we can do what's called a live cut right now.
Right.
But we're still going to probably find some things where Brooklyn maybe dozes off and she doesn't, press the button. No offense, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
But she might miss something.
Sure.
We're human.
Yeah.
So then we got to go back through. And so we're basically re-editing it again.
Right.
Now, sometimes you're watching multiple times. Or you're
Yeah.
like, you know what? Jordan went on this ramble for 10 minutes that makes no sense. Let's just cut that. But we've watched it.
Right.
So then you're cutting that out. Then you're piecing it all together. Then you got to export it. Well, these big files are massive, right? All 3 of these cameras, this is probably 50 gigabytes.
Wow.
So then I have to export it. Then I'm exporting an audio version, a video version. Then I'm uploading to YouTube. Then I'm uploading to a service to allow me to do for Apple Podcasts and Spotify. But then for each of them, I need to have thumbnails. I need to have descriptions and show notes. Then you got to also, start to look at where's the little things that you can chop up. Now, Brooklyn and I might watch this and be like, okay, Chris maybe said something really good here. That could be something we want to clip. There's some software to help us clip, but those things aren't really the best. And then we got to go and let's get it edited. Let's add in other effects. I recorded at JP Weiser's a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Right. And so we did it with the Master Blender. Well, Brooklyn just edited some of these, from a captioning perspective, some of these videos. I got to send it to my editing team to kind of add in some of these other cool effects where we're showing like Lot 40 whiskey and we're showing all these other things kind of flying in. But then we got to caption it.
Right.
Now you got it all captioned. Well, then what we got to do? For some of our clients, for most of our clients,
We post.
we post it on their social media.
Yeah.
So then you're posting to Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube. Now there's software that can publish it all, but then you want some little variations of things. and every single one's a little different.
Uh-huh.
So before you know it,
Yeah.
you're spending a lot of time.
Correct.
And then you'll have some, or people maybe make some comments. So we're responding on behalf of some of the clients and doing their comments
Right.
or their DMs.
Or verifying that you're paying attention.
Or, right.
Hey, Jordan.
Or somebody will say, hey, Chris, I saw this one. I don't like this part. Can we just take that video down and change it?
Mm-hmm.
Now, it doesn't happen often, but it sometimes happens.
Sure.
Now you got to redo that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
a lot.
Yeah.
Across, I have 25 current clients right now.
Yeah.
That's a lot of moving pieces.
Yeah. I think the one benefit of me as a client is very rarely, if ever, have I made you edit anything. Maybe take something down, but most of the time it's, I give you a lot of free range to kind of run my world.
But then there's weird stuff that just happens. You'll have something that's perfectly edited, and then you upload it, and then like, why does it look weird on, let's call it YouTube or Facebook? Because maybe it'll compress it.
Right.
It's too high of quality. And even though we're uploading to the standards that it should be, sometimes it just doesn't like it.
Right.
Or
Well,
software fails.
Issue. Yeah, I was looking at one of your videos and I was like, this seems wrong. So I called you and then it fixed itself somehow.
Yeah.
But yeah, glitches in the system. And so.
Yeah, and then I have some clients that really still like static posts. Now, we do not like it as a company to do them, but we will do them because we do what our clients prefer.
All in.
The problem is those get more complaints than anything because people then can see a static image and then like, I don't like this should move over a millimeter here, or this text, can we have this, or can we do this? The nitpicking on static posts across the board is unreal. I think they're the most ineffective too.
Right.
But those are things that you're always dealing with.
So would you consider saying no?
I have said no, and then clients are still like, can we just do a post for this? And I'm like, sure. And then it becomes a thing. So I've made my lowest tiered package. If you want static post, we'll do it. But I almost feel like I want to make it reverse. Like that's my most expensive one.
Yeah.
Because I hate it.
Right. Well,
but I'm now trying to hire people who's just going to do static.
Oh, so you have the right person.
Right. So let's hire a graphic designer who can just do this, who's probably going to be focused on that. Whereas we can focus on the video side and the podcasting side. Yeah. Because those get nitpicked the most.
Well, but it's also because you're busy. So when you think about nitpicking, it's like, but if you were working hand in hand with that person, so you were sending them the proof and they were coming back with a nitpick, but you didn't have 1,000 other things going on, probably wouldn't be a huge issue to get it edited.
Yeah.
The issue is the edit for that in the time that you're taking, your brain's like, this is not worth my time.
Well,
because there's other things that are priority over this thing. Because I'm like that, like certain things in my business that other people priority. Some, if anyone's listening that has worked as an admin in my world, I apologize. Because what prioritizes in my world and what prioritizes in an admin's world are not the same thing. And so again, whenever you're dealing with the cross every T and dot every I, I'm more like, they're pretty well done. No, they all have to be done. Well, you're probably gonna have to do that yourself then.
Yeah, I'll give you another good example. Hashtags don't mean as much anymore. Okay, in today's world. Like Instagram is even actually implementing, it's rolling out country by country. They used to have 30 as the max. Now they're going down to 3 as the max. Which
3
means
hashtags.
They're deprioritizing it. Even the CEO of Instagram says it doesn't matter.
Right.
So as they deprioritize it, I know that I'm like, okay, it doesn't really make much of a difference. Your hashtags are being found. But some clients will be like, oh, we really want to have this list of hashtags included. And it's like, this does not matter. You're focusing on stuff that really is not going to help you.
Right.
It's not going to move the needle.
But
they're stuck in 2018, 19 style of things.
Sure. We all take time to adjust. Like
Right.
people who still have they still prefer their BlackBerry compared to a screen.
I love the BlackBerry. That was great. The keypad was awesome.
The keypad, but you can just type on a screen now, guys.
I know.
It's okay.
I know.
But everybody, I'll say that. I think one of the most interesting things, especially in content, AI, all the things that have been adjusting, because again, people are early adopters, right? And then there's those who come later, and then those who come later. So when I think about content as your growth, what's the next iteration of content? Like what's that, if you're looking at the next thing, so we've got, like, you have the studio, you're doing these things, but what's the next big shift with content, AI, different things like that?
Well, I think to speak on AI briefly, it's actually hard to actually tell what's next because things have changed so fast. When AI first came out, like I got on ChatGPT like the first day. Like I was on it, I was using it. I still use it a lot in my world, but I found AI is changing so fast, so quickly, I cannot keep up because I'm so busy fulfilling and doing all these things. I feel personally right now like I'm behind on the AI train of what I need to do from a content side
Okay.
because there's so much that's happening so quickly.
Gotcha.
I use a lot of tools, definitely that are AI based, but there is so much stuff going on that it's hard to keep up. I don't even know what a year from now will look like in the content AI space.
Wow.
Now, some of it, you see it and you're like, that's clearly just AI. And I hear a lot of people say they just scroll past it because they hate it.
Right.
Some people love it. There is something to be said still about the real person. So I think that you are going to see that it's still vital and important to put yourself out there. Yes, you can clone yourself, but it doesn't have the same level of just like intensity maybe or just emotions.
Well, it's sort of like we have a soul, right? Like I look at it like that. So like when I speak, there's a soul behind what I say. Whereas I think even if you have my voice, you have my intonations, you have all of it, but you don't have that, it won't come across. You won't have my eyes. If you're looking at me in the video right now and you see my eyes, there's a difference because you can see into me. Whereas if it's a cartoon and it's my voice and it even could be my speech, there's a difference between me speaking something and my inflections, and no matter how good I ever gets, it will never fully grasp that.
Well, and the thing I also say is that like fully scripted also doesn't work. And so AI is going to rely fully on scripted. Like here's the thing, we've improvised everything. Right? I've been able to throw to Brooklyn behind the screen, and AI will never do that.
Right.
And AI will never be able to come up with something on the spot.
It'll only be able to do what it's told.
Exactly. It's going to follow its directions, and sometimes those directions are really crappy, so maybe that's going to give you a really crappy output. But like, it will never be able to just off the cuff do what we're doing.
Right. I was
at least I don't think anytime soon it will.
Well, so robotics is an interesting one. So the stuff they're doing in robotics right now that I've seen coming out, if it's real, and that's the other thing. I'm like,
don't know what's real anymore either.
Well, because you're watching a video and you're like, okay, but it's also possible because we've watched iRobot. Like I've seen movies, and this is what this looks like. They have like faces on these bots, and then so it's all ladies, and then there's nothing below. So it's just the rest of it's all robotic. You see the arm, and they're like building these things. I'm like, well, that's gonna get creepy real quick.
Yeah.
Right. Like again, I think AI, like, because the artificial intelligence now in an Android, right, and that type of thing, like that's a whole different level. It's one thing with AI on the internet. It'll be another thing with AI like walking around.
I do think that like AI, the way it's going generally across a lot of professions, you'll see a lot of entry-level jobs disappear. I do think that is a thing that's going to be a thing. Like, but the people who are able to use AI correctly will have positions, right? Just because we've mentioned this off camera, I think a role that will disappear will be a bank teller.
Oh.
I think robots can take care of what a bank teller might be able to do at some point.
Well, yeah, because it's a lot of online. It's going to be troubleshooting.
An online world's going to switch around.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it fully gets rid of everything that's happening, but like servers going to be replaced by robots.
Well, think about McDonald's. So McDonald's used to have a full, like when you walk into McDonald's now, you can order from your phone, or you can go up to the kiosk, or there's one spot usually that you can actually go order at the till, whereas it was all tills before.
Yeah.
So there's one person manning that, and then they've got, like, they readjusted everything for the way of change. And I find that interesting as we keep adapting, because again, certain companies didn't adapt. Sears, gone.
Yeah.
Right? Toys R Us, gone. They're closing down. Like it's interesting to see it if you don't adapt and change as the market moves.
One of the things I've noticed from a content perspective in the AI space is a lot of companies are coming in the ad specific world, creating ads, posting to Meta and to Google, and just like doing it within seconds. I think that area is really being disrupted right now, because you could sit there and just sign up for one of these ad AI services, pay like $200 to $300 a month, and most of your ad campaigns could be pretty well optimized and done.
Wow.
Like, so, and it's crazy just how much they've done. Like, I've played around with a lot of them, but I'm like, I realize I don't really want to get into that space,
right?
Because I just feel like it's changing so much, but the ad world is really being impacted.
So what would be the most, if you could choose something AI was capable of doing in your business, what would be, like, from the content side? So as a content creator looking at content, what would be the most important thing if it could learn to do right now? It will likely be able to do in the future, but if you could, like, man, if I could get that tomorrow, what would that be?
Even though like there's some elements that it can do, editing is the biggest time suck, right? If there was a way to do it but not so much that it feels the same as everybody else's. Like, yes, there are softwares out there where you can just upload a video and it does its best to edit it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so glitchy, or it adds in such garbage stock footage and stuff that just doesn't fit. If it could get better in that editing, that would save me a ton of time.
So the
and money,
part.
because I spend a lot of money on editors.
Right. So, but if so, you would be like, man, if I could get it where I could pop this into a system where it actually put in good graphics, understood what was going on in the conversation, wasn't just even listening to the words, but listening to the conversation, meaning it was understanding. Because again, that's
but it understands also the brand and the business and the voice to kind of give it the right theme and look and feel and everything. Like, again, it's getting better, but it's still not even close.
Do you think it will be able to?
I think so.
Okay.
I think at some point it'll be
just in the future.
In the future, but the problem is all the content's gonna look the same.
Right.
That's the big risk. All websites are starting to all look the same.
Well, that was the thing. Yeah, every agent had a website, so we all had our websites, and they all were pretty much identical. There was no real difference, and so it's like no matter which website you went to, they all did the same thing.
You look at a lot of blogs that are out there on different sites. They're all looking the same because everyone's using ChatGPT. Now, it's about your input, and you can make them really enriched and better.
Yep.
But a lot of stuff just looks all the same. And so I think what's going to happen is, as a society, we're going to start to crave that authenticity again.
Right.
Because it's almost like there's too much of this other stuff that now people are like, I want the real person again.
Well, we have
the people who have the personal brands are the ones who are actually going to really win.
Well, just think about all the people who like go back and recreate wars in the past. Like, there's stuff that people desire that's it's an old, like people go about like vacationing and living like they were 100 years ago, and that can be a vacation to some people because they just want to unplug from the real world. One of my buddies has a place up north, and I love it because my phone does not work there, and it's like, I think it was Rogers or somebody the other day was like, we have satellite now and you can get your phone to work everywhere on the planet. I'm like, that almost makes me sad.
Yeah,
it's like, good. Don't get me wrong. There's massive benefits because, of course, safety and other things. But this ability to get away and unplug from the social media world and all the content and all the stuff that's always coming after us, it's very interesting to me how that plays. So in your business, as you take your next steps, what does that ideal client look like? If you're pitching right now, you're like, all right, if you're listening to this podcast, who should be calling you?
It's definitely businesses right now in the Windsor Essex region because I'm really staying local, supporting local. I think, give where you live type of deal. Mm-hmm. But it's businesses, and I say small businesses to medium businesses. The large ones, they'd probably be looking for more your larger agencies that you're looking for. But I like working with people who have maybe tried content and never really had any success with it, or they've worked with other people and it hasn't really worked out, or if you're brand new.
Okay.
When you're brand new, that's really fun for me because then you get the opportunity to like do something where like it's going to put you in an uncomfortable spot, but you know that when you're in an uncomfortable spot and you get pushed past it, you grow a lot. Mm-hmm. I love seeing those transformations from people.
Yep.
And so I think I can really help those people the best because those are the ones who then start going to networking events and start being recognized and start seeing that like, oh, this content gives me more benefits than just business.
Right.
It gives me a wider network. It gives me more connections. It gives me opportunities that can come. People need to realize that content is a long-term game.
Right.
It's not a thing that just happens. You post a video, you're good to go.
Yeah, it takes
time.
Time to get out there. It takes time for the right people to be there. I remember we got one of our first deals done through somebody finding me from Halifax on YouTube. But again,
you never know where people are going to look. And the lurkers, I think, are something you always just want to appreciate. Like, you're like, oh man, this post didn't get many likes or there's no real comments on it, but people are seeing it.
Yeah.
Again, this event that I was at last night, somebody else was there. And they say, oh, I saw your studio, and here's my wife. And the person introduced me to their wife. And before I could even explain my studio, this person explained my entire studio concept. And I was like, how do you know? He's like, well, I've been watching all your videos. So they explained everything to their spouse about my studio. They've been watching, and they've never once liked, commented, shared anything.
Right.
And I'm like, I always forget, who's all watching in the background?
Right. There's a bunch of viewers who don't engage because, again, even I watch content, and I try to remind myself, wait, I should probably engage with the content of my peers and those that
That is the best thing that anyone could do to support a small business.
Yeah. Support their content.
Support it.
Link.
Like, comment, share. Share is the most important right now at this point. Yeah. Some of the platforms got what's called a save.
Okay.
Although I find that's useless, but basically, save it if you ever want to watch it, look at it again. That's how you can support small businesses with their content. Like when you see somebody's like, hey, I'm putting out content for the first time, celebrate that.
Yeah.
Because that's a huge step.
Yep.
And that actually sharing with somebody else means your audience then sees that person's content, and that maybe somebody else likes it and shares it, and you help somebody. That's what I love what I do. I think what I do now is I just help people.
Right.
It happens to be using video. You help people with real estate and finding that next home.
Yep.
The idea of helping is just so fulfilling.
Well, and that's why actually I really like the podcast, The Real Stories. It's to me, it's a very non-sales opportunity to just give back. It's a way that we can communicate. Again, today we're just chatting about content. We're talking about like what we're actually doing. And for me, when I think about this, like people are watching, and it's interesting. Again, I remember when I first did content way back, and all the people who saw me and actually commented. And so similarly, what's happening again with the podcast is people are watching and starting to do the same thing. And I find that very fascinating. And it's interesting because again, it's some stuff's going to produce business and some stuff's going to help you produce relationships. And I think one of the things content is I'm in people's homes and I don't know that I'm there. Like people are watching me, they're hearing me. I had someone trust me because they watched me on YouTube. Like it's interesting as you engage around content, the trust that can be built. Because again, I think one of the things about my content specifically, maybe most people's, but I'm authentic. I'm me. If you meet me in real life, I'm the same person that you see here. And so for me, as I keep walking it out and doing content, it's really cool because you get to be yourself. And then when people meet you at networking events or other things around the city, they may or may not have heard about you or heard about things you're doing.
Well, I say this in a lot of my video content recently in the last few weeks. That like it takes 7 to 12 interactions before people even like trust you enough to actually want to maybe do business with you. Now, depends on your industry. You're selling homes, which are very, very expensive. We just did a video about $551,000 is the average price of a home right now in Windsor, Essex.
Yep.
That's not a small decision.
No.
So that means for someone like yourself, that might take a lot more content for someone to actually warm up to you and watch and check you out.
Right.
But content also is a way to validate that you're a real person because people are going to go to social media to see, do you exist?
Yep.
Do you have a presence? Right? Do they trust you enough? Like I remember I sold a client and it took me probably a few months to kind of sell them. And I said, what took so long? He's like, I wanted to watch all your content before I decided to do business with you. I wanted to make sure that you were living the actual authentic experience that you're preaching online. And he's like, because you did, that's why I want to do business with you.
Yeah.
And so to me, it's like, it's me. I have to consistently show up for other people to decide to do business, and everyone else needs to continue to do the same. Just keep showing up.
Yeah. It's an integrity, right? It's, hey, if you don't believe in it, why should I?
That's right.
And so because
like if I had a content business and I never posted online, I see this from social media managers in our area. I'm not going to say names. Nope. I see this all the time though. People are like, they want business. They'll post that they have a sale, but they don't post anything at all for months. They only post transactionally. But if you want to manage someone's social media, you should be on social media.
Right. Yeah. So if somebody wants to get into content or wants to get into business, what would be the quickest and best way?
If you want to start doing content, start simple. Your cell phone is more than capable. Hit record, start talking to it. I recorded a lot of content before I ever posted it.
Okay.
Or I posted and deleted it. But start getting comfortable on video because video is going to provide more opportunities for you than anything else. You know, you can go in. You can get the cheap Amazon mics that I got. Those will be a good starter for you. But just start, right? What do you know that maybe other people could benefit from? Keep it short because we have no attention span in today's world, right? 30, 60 seconds. Yeah. You can go longer, but no one's going to pay attention. But just start. Start recording 2-3 times a week just to get yourself out there.
Right.
Yes, it might be just your friends, your family, your mom who might engage with it, but they might share it. They might like it. Somebody else might see it. You never know who's watching. Just keep putting yourself out there. But start small. Yeah. Just start.
Just start. That is the trick.
Now, don't do the opposite where you start and then you stop because there's the inconsistency that doesn't help you.
Right.
Right? Like you don't want to sit there. I post on my birthday and I don't post again to my birthday and I don't post again to my birthday.
Yeah.
In between is important. Yeah. But it's not all salesy.
No.
Behind the scenes, share, what's going on with your family because people buy from people.
Right.
They don't care that there's a logo. People buy from Chris Hanna.
Right.
Not all in content.
Correct. Same thing. It doesn't matter what brokerage I work for. It doesn't matter most of the time, any of those things. People buy people. And the reason is because we create trust with people. Now, in the past, we actually created trust with brands.
Mm-hmm.
Very few people trust brands anymore. And it's not because I think it's because like if you go to buy a car, you have your car guys. Like for me, I basically have a guy, right, who for anywhere, or if I don't, I go to one of my guys who's most closely related to that guy and ask, hey, who's your guy?
That's right.
And the reason is because we're always looking for trust. We want to find a place where it's like, I want someone that I know I can trust. I know that it's working on my behalf and not for their pocketbook. At the end of the day, we all got to make a living, but like somebody who's going to put my interests and my needs above their own to some extent, not to the extent of their family, right? And I think that's the balance. But again, some salespeople, they're out there and they're hustling, and that's really good. But we want to remember that when you're looking for people, trust and this ability to know that they're working as hard for you, not just for their paycheck, is an important thing no matter what business they're working in.
And this is where I say to everybody, every business owner, I'm like, don't just be posting from your corporate pages, post from your personal.
Mm-hmm.
That business owner needs to be helping to create content, or a leader in the business or something.
Right.
Because it's the personal that's ultimately going to sell for you.
Yeah, my best videos have been some of my personal videos.
Right. And those are the things that people connect, because people want to do business with people that they know, they like, they trust.
Yep.
You know, I'll sometimes, and I've done this where I'm like, I post about, okay, I went and I gambled and whatever, and I won at a poker tournament. Some people have done business with me because I play poker.
There you go.
Some people have done business with me because I go and I post my wife and I go into a Spitfires game.
Yeah.
Right. So I think showing the personal side of you says like, oh, that Chris guy's like me because he also likes hockey.
Right.
Right. He also likes to lose at poker or whatever. Right. Like whatever it is, like the personal stuff helps. Right. And that also gets a good conversation when you meet people.
Yeah.
That's why I think content has to be paired with networking.
Right.
Right. You and I have a lot of conversations about this, but how important networking has been.
Yep.
But when you go to networking, then people know who you are. And
Yes.
they're like, oh, I've seen your videos, Jordan.
Yep.
Oh, I've listened to the podcast or whatever it is. Then that becomes a different conversation piece. Like,
Well, yeah, because again, like you said earlier in the conversation, people, like one guy was telling about your whole studio. You didn't have to tell his wife. He was able to pretty much describe the whole thing because he's been listening to you.
he's never been in here,
Right.
but he knew everything about it.
Right. And so with that, with content, what it does is, again, somebody who might be at a networking event who wouldn't have talked to you, you wouldn't have had the opportunity, now does because they've seen you. Or you go up and say hi and you're not a stranger, right? They're like, oh, I recognize you from somewhere. Do you do the content thing? You're like, yep, that would be me.
I always laugh when somebody says that they recognize me. Because I'm like, well, maybe you saw me on a video or something like that, right? But to me, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Right. I remember being at Average Joe's with Raquel, and we're sitting there just like having a drink and food, and someone come up and he's like, "Hey, I just want to shake your hand." I said, "Who are you?" And he's like, "Well, I work at Chrysler, but I listen to your podcast on the line."
Oh,
And I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I just want to shake your hand and say it's nice to meet you."
that's cool.
And I was like, "Oh, that was unexpected."
Yeah.
And like you never know. Like someone just comes across and like, "Yeah, I like the business stuff like you're talking about. I've been listening to it and I saw you and I want to say hello." Like that is mind-boggling to me. Like I don't have massive followers, but apparently the followers I do have know who I am.
Right.
So people know me in this city, which is, I think is a nice compliment, I guess.
Yeah. I find it very, I don't do a lot of what I do because I'm expecting it, but I do find it very gratifying when somebody's like, yeah, no, I've seen what you're doing. You're like, oh, people are actually watching. It's interesting because you're doing it. People are watching because it's on Facebook. Sometimes people yell at me because like, can you stop showing up on my feed every day? I'm like, I don't know. I'd have to talk to Chris about that. He takes care of that, not me.
I think this is an important lesson. I just want to make sure I say, and I maybe look at the camera as I say this. Videos are not about conversions. Videos are about awareness.
Right.
I think this is a problem that a lot of people have. And I know I've talked to a lot of other people in the social media space or the video space locally here, especially, where they say, oh, clients, like they've dropped them and they're like, they're not getting the results. And it's like, you're looking at the wrong thing. You can't always just put the monetary, yes, it costs an investment to do obviously what we do.
Yes.
But it's the awareness that you get, and you have to have the right systems in place. You have to follow up with people who engage with your content. You got to connect with people on LinkedIn. Like you have to do a lot of the work to make all this effort worthwhile.
Right.
That's where the conversion happens. It doesn't happen just because you post a video and you're like, oh, I posted a video. I didn't get it. I didn't get any business from it. Well, what's the other stuff that you're doing that helps it? Because this amplifies the being seen.
Right.
You have to do a lot of work.
Yeah,
I put out thousands of videos, like literally thousands for myself and for others. I've recorded 15,000 videos in the last 2 years, 2.5 now. And it's like, it's not about conversion.
Right.
It's about awareness.
Awareness. Awesome. Well, Chris, is there any last words you'd like to leave with the...
If you're not doing
listeners?
content or you're not doing videos and you are running a business, you should. Doesn't matter. It's with All In Content, myself. You need to put yourself out there. It completely changed my life. I going to sound very much probably like I'm blowing my own horn here, but like it's given me the opportunity to connect with so many amazing people, to hear so many amazing stories. Even Brooklyn, who's behind the camera here today, said like it was crazy to hear some of these stories when she was recording even with you, you know, and like in some of the episodes that you've had, like you learn so much.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm so thankful for what I do. But like video can change your life.
Mm-hmm.
People just need to start.
Just start.
Just pick up the phone and hit record.
That's actually funny when you said that. I was thinking of like, see, when you say pick up a phone, my brain still sees an old school phone.
Oh, I see that in my head too. Yeah, 100%.
But when you said it, I'm like, how is that going
But
to
just
help?
pick,
And then
pick up
you're
a
like,
camera.
Pick up your phone, which has a camera. For any young person who's out there, you won't have this problem.
Yeah, pick up a camera or phone or whatever and just start capturing content.
Yeah.
But like, remember, you're not creating content. You are the content. So document what you do, and people will want to do business with you.
There you go. Awesome, man. Well, guys, thanks again for watching Real Stories. Again, I'm your host, Jordan Silvester. If you want to be on this podcast, we'd love to have you. You can check us out on YouTube, subscribe. You'll know when the new ones are dropping, Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. Again, if you want to be on, reach out. We'd love to have you on the podcast. We'll talk to you guys later.